Erik, you're always very fond of saying you have enough. And, tonight certainly tested that, but second half, it looked like you had obviously more than enough and then some. What can this second half mean for a lot of guys that don't often get, that opportunity in those extended roles like that?
Well, one, we have, still with the guys out, we have a lot of veteran experience still out there. I think that helped stabilize things with the young guys. Andre was, terrific tonight. I don't even know what his stat line was, except for, one of the staff members told me it was a plus 38. Gorn, really looked alive, and Dedman gave us some really good minutes again. Trevor is just, so steady and fits in so well, just in terms of how we play. I think that just allowed the young guys, to hoop and compete and play the game. And like I said, they've been taking advantage of their opportunities in an unusual season where they've gotten, playing time and been held accountable to playing time that, has to lead to winning. And I think they've gotten a lot better, over the last, several weeks. Certainly much more productive and more consistent to winning basketball than, in early January when we were playing, a lot of guys going really deep into our bench then. We're going to need this. I mean, the schedule's not going to let up, so we're going to need our entire roster, at some point just to, play certain parts of certain games and help us, through this so we can manage this all the right way.
And I know you're always very anti-narrative, anti-noise, or anti-believing in any of that or listening to any of that stuff. But just the way the trip ended and the way the last 2 days have gone, do you feel a little bit better about things than maybe you did 48 hours ago?
That just shows you, how quickly things can change, or at least the tenor of how your team can feel from in a matter of 48 hours. Just like before the 3-game winning streak, we're coming off of the win against the Lakers and then the first road win against Portland. We think everything's great. So it could be fragile either way. But we know this is going to be a challenging road trip. It's going to be a good opportunity for our team, and we'll focus on San Antonio.
Thanks, Erik.
Next, we'll go to Ira Winderman.
Eric Kendrick doesn't often get to be the high volume shooter or scorer on this team based on how the team is composed now. But what does it say about him, sort of, that when ready and called upon, he can produce like he did tonight?
Yeah, he was in a great rhythm and flow. I think he was in the second half reading the defense, what they were giving him, and he's taking his open shots with assertiveness. But he's proven that he, at different points in the season, that he can put a lot of points on the board, and he can do it, in a hurry, and we need that.
And then Duncan's three-point shooting. Today, he became the first Heat player ever to have 200 three-pointers in consecutive seasons, even though they haven't even been regulation length seasons. His performance tonight, and just the 2-year Duncan Robinson experience, if you could sum up, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of work behind the scenes and persistence, just staying with it, not getting caught up in all the highs and lows. If you're that kind of shooter and that's your role, you're going to go through different stretches of the season where it's going to be great, and other times where you have to work through it. He's always a threat. He's always going to be defended that way. So, from our standpoint, our offense functions, at an extremely high level when he's on the court. He's improving in other areas as well.
Next, I go to Mateo Mayorga.
Hello, Coach. Tonight, KZ wasn't very efficient scoring from the field, but he made his presence felt defensively. What does that say about his savviness to not let offensive struggles impact his motor?
Yeah, that's part of learning how to really impact winning, and I think KZ is making some strides in that area. We didn't really feel him in the first half defensively. We talked about that at halftime, and then I thought his efforts and his impact, on the defense side of the floor was notable. It was hard not to notice him. He was really good in the two, but he was also making a lot of efforts and coming back to rebound, coming back to be disruptive in the paint. There's a lot of different ways, you can impact a win. And he's got a great role model, actually two role models in front of him. Andre, who I have no idea how many he scored tonight, but he made so many winning plays. And Trevor does the same thing. So KZ has two models that he can look to and try to emulate, even though his game is a little bit different. And he will. I'm encouraged by the work that he's been putting in and the improvement he's made.
Next, we'll go to Barry Jackson.
Hi, Eric. I don't want to say surprised with Dwayne Dedman because we've seen these types of contributions before, but do you have an even added admiration for him that he's been able to contribute like this after not playing in a year?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing is just, getting him in basketball shape and then getting him acclimated into our system. But he's a savvy veteran. He's a big muscle, defender, extra effort guy. He can fit into a lot of different systems like he has, and he's been a starter, for several years. So we're thrilled to be able to get him at this time of the year. That goes without saying.
11 boards for Precious tonight. Do you like how he sort of fought through any rookie wall and improved the game?
Yeah, he settled in. Things were happening pretty quickly, in the first half. But again, in the second half, I thought he gave us some good minutes. I tried to play him in a little bit shorter bursts, where he could empty the tank a little bit more. And I think he was doing that. He had a lot more multiple efforts, in that second half and really trying to glass eat, make his presence felt in the paint. All those things were much better, in that second half.
All right.